Shalom Avracha, welcome to the weekly Shiur in Zera Shimshon. It's Wednesday. Chaf Beis, L'chodesh Av Tavshin Pei Vav, Parshas Re'ei. And we learn Ois Dalet here in Zera Shimshon, Schusay Agadol V'Kodesh Yagan Aleinu. This week, Parsha, we learn the mitzvah of giving Ma'aseh. The pasuk says, Aseh ta'aseh es kol tvua zerecha. Take Ma'aseh from everything that grows from what he produce. Hayoitse hashsadeh shana shana. What your field produces every single year, from that you should take a tenth. Say Chazal in a Medrash. Im zechisem, if you do this mitzvah properly, you give Ma'aseh. Soif shatim yoitzim lizroya hasadeh. Then you will merit that next year you'll go to plant the field again. Vim lav, if one is lenient and one does not give Ma'aseh, Soif shayoitze hasadeh miskara b'chem. The one that comes out of the field, he will start up with you. Who comes out of the field? Ve'ezeh ze Esav. This is Esav Arosha, as the pasuk says. Ish yoidei atzayit ish sadeh. Esav is a man of the field. He's a yoitze hasadeh. So we have an option. Either we give Ma'aseh and then we get the field, or we don't give Ma'aseh, then the yoitze hasadeh, which is Esav Arosha, will start up with us. Frag the heilige Zera Shimshon kasha lama dafke b'aveira zu yiskara Esav yoitze mishaveras. Why, when it comes to this aveira, do we find that Esav will start up with us? We don't give Ma'aseh. All of a sudden, Esav is here. What's the understanding? Says the heilige Zera Shimshon v'yesh. We find another connection between Esav Harasha and mitzvahs Ma'aseh. She'esav hoimarames aviv. Esav used to fool his father Yitzchak by mitzvahs Ma'aseh. As Rashi says on the pasuk, when we describe Esav as ish yoidei atzayit ish sadeh, says Rashi shoyaloi keitzad ma'asrin hateven keitzad ma'asrin hamelech. He had these very clever questions about mitzvahs Ma'aseh. How do you take Ma'aseh from salt? How do you take Ma'aseh from teven, from straw? And he fooled Yitzchak, whatever that means, into thinking that he was a special individual because he was particular. He was makbid on Ma'aseh. But Gamal Zerkosha, Lama Dafka Hoimerama Aviv Mitzvazu. He's trying to show that he's a frummi. No. So why do you have to show it with mitzvahs Ma'aseh? Could have asked questions in Hilchos Tzitzis, Hilchos Tefillin, Hilchos Matzah, Pesach. Why Ma'aseh? V'tzarech loymar. The answer is like this: Sha'amatana hayoyse gedola she'evtiach HaKadosh Baruch Hu Avram. The greatest gift that was promised to Avraham Avinu was Loseis lebanav ulazaroi Eretz Yisrael. Getting Eretz Yisrael. That's what it all hinged on. And we find that Hashem promised Avraham Avinu, when he was told he will get Eretz Yisrael. And Avraham Avinu erected a Mizbeach, the Yevon Sham Mizbeach, when he found out he's getting Eretz Yisrael. And that's what it was all about. The Goyim were in Eretz Yisrael at the beginning, as the pasuk says, V'aknaini oz ba'aretz. HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised that time will come, we will overpower the Canaanim, the Chittim, the Moirim, Prizim, and we will be Zoicha to inhabit and live in the Heilige Eretz Yisrael. In the Choron era, but there's always been a problem with Eretz Yisrael until this very day. When Klal Yisrael come and they conquer Eretz Yisrael from the Umas Olam, what do the headlines say? They say, She Yisrael gozlu oretz v'aknainim, Klal Yisrael aganovim. Chutzpah. It belongs to the Knainim. You come by force and might, and you throw them out, and you take it for yourself. As Rashi says right at the beginning of the Torah, Bereshis bara Elokim. The tachlis of the whole Parshas Bereshis, says Rashi, is Shem yoimru umois, listim atem, you're thieves. Shekibashtem artus shivas goyim. You took Eretz Yisrael for yourselves by means of the sword, and you are ganovim. The response is, Kol Yisrael shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Not true. Bereshis bara Elokim. It doesn't belong to the Knainim. It doesn't belong to the Chittim. It doesn't belong to Klal Yisrael. It belongs to the Eibishter. Hu bara, Bereshis bara Elokim. He created it. Unesana, and he gave it to whoever he wants. And that's how we win over the argument. We win over our enemies that accuse us and point fingers at us that we are Ganavim by saying, no, the land doesn't belong to you, it doesn't belong to me, it belongs to the Eibishter, and the Eibishter said it goes to us. That's why mitzvah's Maisa is critically important in order that we should be Zoichet Yisrael. Kedela Haris. What does mitzvah's Maisa do? It demonstrates Shakadosh Baruch Hu Adonai Aretz, the Eibishter is the owner of the land, it belongs to him, and we give him a tenth. And that tenth is like rent, it's like a tax. When we give Maisa, we are demonstrating the fact that we understand it belongs to the Eibishter. And therefore we are entitled to it. Kashem Misparach gives it to us. Nimtza. So it comes out, whoever wants to be Zoichet Yisrael has to agree and has to admit that the land belongs to the Eibishter. But Sarach Namish Yischai Vatz V'Lahoitzeh Maisa. And therefore you have to be particular in giving Maisa. Esav Arosha wanted to get Eretz Yisrael. He should give him Eretz Yisrael. Therefore, he tried to fool his father to make him believe that he is very particular in Maisa and even things that are potter. He felt, I can't not give Maisa. I owe it to the Eibishter. And therefore he asked, Keitzir Ma'asna Tevan, Keitzir Ma'asna Melach. Hine, Keshbirach Yitzchak is Yaakov, Nasla Chalke Eretz Yisrael. Part of the brachas on that fateful night was that Yaakov gets Eretz Yisrael. As Ramban says in the Pasuk, V'yelech lo el haaretz, that was the result of the brachas. Zesh amloi, yitelechai lekim, mitala hashomayim, umishmanei haaretz. Kloima, kol shef haaretz yaveh min HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It'll come from the Eibishter, and you will merit it. That's why we must give Maisa. If we don't give Maisa, and we start thinking it's ours, then we are in trouble, because it's not ours, it's the Eibishter's. And the Eibishter gives it to those that he wants to give it to. And he wants to give it to those that understand that it's his, and it's a matnas alekim. Le'esav didn't get Eretz Yisrael. He said, Mishmane Aretz Yeh Moshevecha, meaning your place where you live will be Shamen, but not Eretz Yisrael. Not Eretz Yisrael. Esau was very upset he didn't get Eretz Yisrael. And Yaakov gets Eretz Yisrael because of one thing, because he gives Maisa. Umitayim zeh, im Yaakov olav le'afrish Maisras, if we don't give Maisa and we think it's ours and it belongs to us, im ket eina moedim she'aretz hi shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You're not agreeing, that's the Eibishter's. Therefore, we are called Gazlanim. And therefore, the Umas Olam are fully entitled to take it away from us. V'atam she'esav ibad brachas. Zera Shimshon adds a knetch. Why did Esav lose his chus brachas? For a reason. Which means, if you're a trustworthy person, you get brachas. And Chazal say, Esav went to find an animal for Yitzchak, and he said like this, I'm going to try and find from Hefka, but if not, I'm going to steal one. Esav had no problem to steal. Stealing doesn't get you anywhere. He lost brachas. If we don't take Maisa, we don't pay the tax. We are called stealers. Therefore, you have nothing over Esav. Esav is called the Ishsadeh. Yiskara behem. He will start up with you, and therefore, you make sure to give Maisa. If you don't give Maisa, then you're gathered like Esav. If you're gathered like Esav, then Esav can come and take it away from you. He is a yoitze asada shana b'shana. Azozak Zera Shimshon b'shat. Maybe we can add a little knetch, and this is the gear to the weeks of vacation. There's another explanation why Esav kept asking questions about Maisa. We know Esav and Yaakov ultimately had two roles. Yaakov was supposed to be the Ishtam Yoshvahanim, and Esav was supposed to be the one that will support him. It was the Yisachar Zevulun deal. That was supposed to be. And if Esav wouldn't have messed up, then it would have been that way. And that's why Yitzchak wanted to give the brachas to Esav, to give him Olam Hazeh, and he will support Yaakov. Yaakov is not supposed to be one that will deal with Olam Hazeh. He is the Yisachar, he is Yoshev Ahalim, he had nothing to do with Olam Hazeh. And Esav knew that that's supposed to be his role. He just messed up. After he messed up, and he lost that, and Yaakov had to take over both Chalakim, which is Arichas in the Beis Parshas. That's why Esav asked about Hilchas Maisa. What's the concept of Maisa? Maisa is a person has to understand Hashem gives you what He gives you, but you recognize it comes from Hashem. It's not mine, and it's there to share with others. It's there to give to the Eibishter, to understand that what I have is a gift from the Eibishter. In similar veins, what Zera Shimshon said. And therefore, if he knows how to Maisa, then he will get the brachas. Because then he can be trusted to give to Yaakov Avinu what he's supposed to get. And that was supposed to be the role of Esav. He could be an Ish Sadeh, he could be in the workforce, but he'll be mafresh, Maisa, for Yaakov Avinu. And that's why he asked questions, Kate to the Maasna Teven, Kate to the Maasna as Amelach. That was his intention, to fool Yitzchak into thinking he understands that it's not all about him, it's about to share, and he has to give away a chelik to the Talmud Chacham to support him. And the same goes in the concept of vacation. We have to understand, we are Avdei Hashem the whole time, but sometimes we take off a chelik to rest, to rejuvenate. And the Tachlis is because that's going to help us, that's going to enable us to be able to learn better afterwards, to have clarity, to be oitzig with Torah mitzvahs. That's the understanding of this heta, and that's why we're only zoicha to Eretz Yisrael, which means Eretz Yisrael is the land of Aretzias, of Gashmias, and we have to know how to deal with Gashmias if we know the concept of Maisa. We don't take everything for ourselves. We know it's ultimately all the Eibishter's, and we give the Eibishter back. And we are here to invest in order to reap benefits to the spiritual world. So the Eibishter helps uns Chusa Agadol v'Akadosh Yagen Aleinu Livasha B'Dva Yeshua V'Rachim Agud Shabbos Besuras Tovos.